Welcome back. This is video 4 of 4. I'm very excited today to talk to you about how your CSRs can turn price shoppers into clients. Over the last several videos, we talked about the importance of CSRs using positive language. We've talked about the importance of closing calls and tracking that call booking percentage. And now we're going to talk about some real things that your CSRs can do to close more calls and increase client satisfaction. So we're going to talk about price shoppers. Now, most of the time when a CSR doesn't book a price shopper call, they don't feel like they really lost out on a call. But we know that every single call costs money to make that phone ring. So every call is valuable, and price shoppers still count. And price shoppers can be clients. So we're going to review 3 techniques that your CSRs can use to turn price shoppers into clients. The first one is acknowledge and ignore. This one is great for when the homeowner starts off with asking for a price over the phone before you can even tell them about anything that your company does or even get any information from them. So when they call and the first thing they ask is, what is the cost of your service call? You say, well, I absolutely can get that answered for you. Can I get your name, please? Thank you, Mr. Smith. I'm going to ask you a couple questions to make sure that I can get you the best possible service today. And then you start going through your evaluation questions. You move on with your call as if he hadn't asked for price first. Now, you do acknowledge it. Mr. Smith, I can absolutely get that information for you. But then you move on and you get the information that you need to qualify the call, and then you build the value and you take the time to explain to him all of the value that he's going to get for your diagnostic call. So keep that in mind when somebody just starts off the bat asking for that. Acknowledge and ignore. Now, the second technique is called feel, felt, found. You have to understand why feel, felt, found works. The first step of feel, felt, found is acknowledging that you understand how the client feels. Mr. Smith, I understand that you would feel that a price over the phone would be good information. And then felt. Mr. Smith, many of our other clients also felt that way. That's important because now the homeowner doesn't feel like they're all alone. They understand that other people have felt like them too, so they're not isolated. Now here's where the found comes in. What they found is after our technician did his thorough evaluation, they not only had better information, but they had the options to make a better decision for their home. So feel, I understand how you feel. Felt, other people have felt that way too. And found, they found the real value of our service after we went through our process. So that's feel, felt, found. The third technique, well, I call that the Texas two-step. And what does that mean? Well, I'm just a country girl from Texas, and I know that when you two-step, there could only be one leader. So when your client is trying to run the call for you, you've got to take charge. Now, how can you do that? When your client calls in and they're getting very technical and asking for very specific information, maybe a 5-ton system, or a new water heater, or a new electric panel, you can ask them some very pointed questions that give you control over the call again. For example, Mrs. Smith, do you know how many BTUs your home absorbs in the summertime? Well, of course a homeowner's not going to know about BTUs. They're used to speaking in tons. So change up your verbiage. Let them know that they need to have that load calculation to answer that. For the plumbers, Mrs. Smith, do you know what your water pressure is at your first faucet and at your last? Well, no. The homeowner's not going to know that. Mrs. Smith, we don't know that either, but in order to get you the right information, our plumber's going to come out and do a thorough evaluation and make sure that we're offering you the right solutions. For an electrician, Mrs. Smith, do you know what gauge wire you have going into your electric panel? No? Well, our electrician is going to come out and do a thorough evaluation so that we can make sure that any recommendations we provide you are going to be the best for your home. And that's the technical two-step. So I want you to go out and implement one of these strategies on your calls today to turn a price shopper into a client. Now, if we haven't had a conversation, please click the Contact Me button below so that we can schedule a time for you and I to talk about how we can take your CSRs and turn them into call booking professionals. When we have our conversation, I'm going to send you the exact scripts that your CSRs can use to close more calls. And you really want to have these scripts because they're going to take your CSRs and help them close more calls instantly.